Are you married or in a committed relationship looking for real advice on having love and enriching your relationship? You are in the right place. Welcome to The Couples Expert with Stuart Fensterheim.
Hello and welcome to the Couples Expert Podcast. This is Stuart Fensterheim once again, and I want to start out this week's episode with asking a question. Is having a soulmate an essential part of having a significant, close relationship in where you feel that your marriage is working? I think that the concept of soulmate is something that a lot of people confuse with life partner, because truly having a soulmate isn't always a positive thing. A soulmate, typically, when you look this up in Wikipedia, it's defined in a very different kind of way. So let's take a look at what is the definition of a soulmate versus a life partner. A soulmate is defined in Wikipedia as the following: a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. A life partner, on the other hand, is strictly a person with whom you're in a long-term monogamous relationship. Now, soulmate seems a little bit more complete, but I went online and I really did some of my own research to try to really find the difference between soulmates and life partners. And this is what it's come up with. A soulmate is someone who is aligned with your soul and is sent to challenge, awaken, and stir different parts of you in order for your soul to transcend to a higher level of consciousness and awareness. Once the lessons have been learned, though, physical separation usually occurs. Now, what's a life partner? A life partner is a companion, a friend, a stable and secure individual who you can lean on, trust, and depend on to help you through life. There is a mutual feeling of love and respect, and you are both in sync with each other's needs and wants. I believe most of us are really looking for life partners, not soulmates. But at the same time, I think we have to think about the relationships in our lives and whether or not your soulmate may be someone who you had a previous relationship with. Because that definition of soulmates, that might define for me, for example, my ex-wife. Because she definitely challenged me. She definitely irritated me at the same time. And I needed to grow in a way that I believe has allowed me to now have a relationship with my wife, Debbie, that would never have happened if I didn't go through all the turmoil and anguish that came along with the ending of the marriage. And that my ex-wife and I, while we would get into battles about things, one of the things it absolutely did is it made me stand back and do some soul searching about what I wanted in a relationship, what I wanted in a marriage, what I wanted from a partner that I'm going to grow old with and hopefully live the rest of my days with. That question, that turmoil, that needing to just dig down deep allowed me to really develop into both the man I am today, the husband I am today, and quite frankly, the couples counselor I am today. And my search through that whole experience allowed me to then find emotionally focused therapy and utilize that in my life, both personally, professionally, and always. And I absolutely believe that I owe her gratitude, because I know I wouldn't be as happy as I am today in my relationships with my wife my children, if she and I never went through that experience together. So there is a much more of a profound, deep understanding of my heart and my mind as a result of that experience, as a result of the kinds of interactions that she and I would have, which would be unhealthy, made me and forced me to start asking myself questions about who am I? And that really is that transcending into another place, another way of living that I believe has impacted many parts of my life. And as a result of that, she and I physically could not be together because we grew in so many different ways. But it allows me to have the experience of an adult relationship with my current wife that I never would have had. And that is really what we look for soulmates. But when we think about having a soulmate or searching out the world for a soulmate, I think most people are really looking for life partners. So this podcast episode is going to be much more about having a life partner than having a soulmate. And some of the questions that people ask themselves: can you have more than one soulmate relationship in your lifetime? Can you learn and grow from all the relationships that we've had? I think our soulmates are those relationships that are meaningful to us, that we then grow into something else. We transcend into other relationships. So I do believe we can have more than one soulmate. I'm not convinced that we can have more than one life partner, though. And I think some of us, we need to do this a few times before we truly can find that person in the world that can be our life partner. Because being a life partner has a whole other dimension. It's about having an adult relationship. It's about being able to have a relationship with your partner that is about the two of you giving and receiving in adult ways. And, the whole concept of, can we only be with one person and be satisfied? I think the answer is absolutely yes. And I think the answer is, the way you do that is if you have relationships in your life that you've had previously in which you took in the lessons learned and are able to then apply that to your life today. It's really sad for me when I have in my office someone who comes in that says they've been married a number of times, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're giving up on marriage. I say to them, why do that? The next one you have will likely be your life partner if you take the lessons learned from all the previous relationships. I think it's sad when, as a society, we look at people who get divorced and we define those marriages, those relationships, as failures. Because applying the skills learned to your current relationship is the way to have a relationship that will allow you to have the rest of your life feeling loved, feeling wanted, and feeling desired by your partner. The struggle, though, is to be able to ask yourself the question, how much of the things that I feel are based on real experiences that I've had, and how much is based on our desire to have someone understand me on a deep level and to be in sync with our hearts and minds. I think we all need all of that. I don't think that we should shortchange ourselves and say, oh, I'm going to find someone who's going to be this life partner, but they're only going to be able to understand some of what I need, because what I need is too different than them. I think that we all are seeking to have someone in our life that just understands us, that is able to really acknowledge the needs that we have and to be able to pursue them, and is dedicated to having a close, connected relationship just like what we need. And can we transform someone? If we're in a relationship with someone, can we say, this person can learn how to do this? Or is this just they either have it or they don't have it? I think some of that is true. If you're looking for a relationship where your partner's emotional needs line up with yours, they have to be there. I don't think those get learned. I think that's something you either have or you don't have. Now, what I find more often in relationships is you have people who don't access verbally, aren't able to verbalize what they feel. They have walls that have come up. They have situations that have occurred in their lives. They have family upbringings that they haven't figured out how to really communicate what the needs are that they already have. I think men sometimes get a bad rap in this area. I think for a lot of women, men are seen as someone that doesn't access emotion. And I would suggest to you, it's less not accessing emotion and more about not being able to know how to express the emotion that they already feel. It's true. You don't have to give up on your relationship or settle for feeling lost or as if something is missing. You just need to know how to connect with your partner in a way that allows the two of you to feel loved and appreciated. But the problem is that many couples don't have the tools they need to navigate the ups and downs of a relationship without causing relationship injuries to one another. Yet they wonder what happened to the friendship that you used to share. How did it get from where it was in the beginning of the relationship to where you are now, feeling alone, disappointed, and hurt? And yet, you just can't seem to move forward to be happy again. Thankfully, this problem can be fixed, and that's where the 2 days and 7 conversation Hold Me Tight workshop comes in. Just 2 days, you will understand what you and your partner need to have a relationship where both of you are on the same page, working together to have that close relationship you only once dreamed of. Check it out at www.thecouplesexperts.com. Your relationship deserves the two of you feeling that closeness you once had. The key here is not to be searching for your soulmate. The key here is to believe that the person that you are currently with is the life partner that you've been looking for, and that you've had enough experiences with other relationships that would lead you to have a relationship with your present partner that can be worked through, that the two of you can really have that kind of relationship that you've always needed. But there's a number of factors that what you need to do if you don't really feel currently that you're with that person, that ultimate person that is going to be your life partner or is your life partner. What you want to do is develop it, and you have to talk about this. You have to talk about what your needs are. You want to talk about what feelings and hopes and dreams you have for the two of you, and that you include each other in your plans for the future. Even if things aren't going so well, you believe in each other enough to believe that the two of you can have a relationship that's going to be created by the energy that the two of you put in to develop that relationship that is significant and powerful and hopeful and has the two of you seeing each other as the best thing that ever happened to you. And if that's not been in place, that you're going to create that by the two of you together talking about what you need from one another to have a partner that is your best ally, best asset, best part of your life. And that you include each other in your plans for the future. So often when relationships are struggling, I hear people talking about, I'm not sure we're going to be together. I hear people making divorce and separation threats. I hear people saying, unless we change this, I don't know if we can be in this relationship. Stop doing that if you want a life partner. Stop doing that if you want to have someone in your world that sees you as the best thing that ever happened to them. And if you don't see your partner as the best thing that happened, I think you need to look more inwardly than outwardly. And you need to begin to ask yourself, what is it that I can do to change the nature of this? For so many of us, it's these walls that we've put up that doesn't allow us to see the good in our partners. We're scared. We're afraid that it's not going to work. Brene Brown, who's someone that I respect very much, talks about when she did her research on what makes relationships work and vulnerability so powerful. The issue wasn't that vulnerability is easy. The issue is the people that really could do this didn't find it easy at all. But it was absolutely essential to their happiness that they loved without a guarantee of love being returned. They did the things that were necessary for them to feel loved, to be loved, to express their love without knowing if their partner was going to be able to do what they needed. It was just an expectation that they made on themselves. This is what I need to do. And this is what I ask all of you to do. I ask you to include in your thoughts and in your brain and in any way possible, take out the possibility that this relationship won't work. Change the nature of your thinking to not allow yourself to go to a place that says, we won't be able to create something special. Show love and kindness and appreciation for your partner, and know that both of you are going to put the effort in necessary, and that regardless of whether it takes 1 day, 2 days, a month, a year, 5 years, your dedication to having a relationship with your partner with the commitment is there, that the two of you can do this together, is demonstrated every single day and every moment of the day, where you show each other the love and kindness that you deserve. And that the two of you can look yourselves in the mirror and says, I've gone all in. I've done my part to be the best partner I can be and to make this the best relationship it can be. And that I know and I believe without any question that it can be good enough. And if you doubt that, you need to look at yourself and why you're having those doubts. And what is it about you that may be getting in the way? I'm not saying your partner doesn't have to do the same thing. They do. But the two of you need to do this together. If we're going to create soulmates and life partners, both of you have to put in the effort necessary to maintain that relationship that you once had. And if for most of you, you're able to go back and reflect back and say, well, we had this loving relationship early in our marriage, it just went away. It doesn't just go away. It goes away because we stop trying. It goes away because we're angry. It goes away because we feel the pain and anguish that comes from relationships that you don't feel your needs are being met. And when someone says, I'm willing to do this now, maybe I haven't done it over the last few years, but I'm willing to do it now. Don't make statements like, a little too late, that the timing's bad. Don't make comments that suggest that if only you did this earlier, maybe we could have made this work, but now that you're doing it now, that should be exciting that they're doing it now. And you should trust that this is real. And that's part of the challenge. We need to trust that what your partner is doing is not bullshitting you. There is no reason that someone would bullshit you, because they're just bullshitting themselves then. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. Allow yourself to believe that if you put in the work, if you put in the energy, if you talk about the things that are necessary, the two of you can create a relationship that will be positive, loving, caring, kind, that will take you through the rest of your lives together. But this effort needs to be partly having to do with having an understanding of where your partner is coming from and understand what motivates them. And stop doing the things that you think are self-destructive to your relationship. I hear people talking about, I always feel like I'm parenting my partner. I always feel like I'm having to lead them down the path. I always feel like I have to do this or do that. Stop doing it. Look to your partner and say, I expect you to do this. I expect you to take responsibility that if you're struggling with talking about feelings, learn how to do that. Go to a counselor, read books, do what's necessary, make the effort, put one foot in front of the other so that this relationship has the components that both of us need, and care about them, love them, care about them, and begin to allow yourself to trust that they love you. The struggle is when we're with someone that the relationship is a challenge, we stop thinking of them as our life partner and our soulmate. We think of them as something that we just have to get through. We have to close off our needs and just accept less than. That is not my message here. My message here is to develop a soulmate or life partner. You have to work on yourself as well as your partner has to work on themselves, and the two of you need to do this together. And what you have to be talking about is that investing the time regularly, on a regular basis, without excuse, on how the two of you are going to spend the time connecting emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and sharing all of your experiences together and building that bond that has you feeling like a life partner. Because if you do that, you can have a happy and loving relationship with someone. Even if they're not a soulmate, but a life partner, your life partner is actually the more fulfilling of the two. As I read and we talk about that definition that I read earlier, I'd rather have a life partner than a soulmate. A soulmate is necessary for my growth, but a life partner allows me to experience the joys of life together. And that the end goal here is to develop a relationship with a life partner that has you feeling fulfilled, happy, there's humor, there's joy, there's friendship, there's sex, there's passion, there's fulfillment, there's adventure. All of those things that we all need. And that you can be happy and love your partner in this moment and every moment of your life together. If you put away the disappointment and the lack of confidence that your partner and you can develop the relationship that you need. And it is in the cards for you. You can have this. That's why I have my podcast to talk about these things. And I also have, by the way, a Facebook group. And I'd like all of you to go onto Facebook and look at my Facebook page, Inside Love and Relationship with Stuart. Join the group. It's a community that we're building to have a relationship with a partner, that everyone's looking for that life partner, and we help each other out in there. I do Q&As, I do Facebook Lives, I put in articles, I put lots of information that will allow you to really take the information, similar to, as some of you are aware, I do these Stuart's Daily Notes, they're daily tips for the day. It's very similar to that, but it's being done in a community forum. So check it out. Go on Facebook and see what you think. We all need to be looking for that soulmate, that life partner that we can be satisfied with. So I want you all to really look yourselves in the mirror today and say, I'm going to do my part to create that kind of relationship, and that I can be happy that I have found someone in this world that loves me. Of all the people out there, I found one person that truly can have my back, can truly share my life with me, and can truly make me feel respected, loved, and connected, and all the things that we all need to feel loved. Take care. Join me next week, because next week I'm looking forward to our episode, which is talking about sex being used as a weapon in a relationship and what's destructive about that, why that's not a good idea, and how to correct any relationship where that is part of the picture. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for listening. This episode has ended, but your journey continues. Head over to www.thecouplesexperts.com to access all the links and resources mentioned in this episode, as well as bonus content exclusive to podcast listeners. Enjoyed this episode? Why not hit subscribe now and never miss an episode?